Hi, if you're over 40 or 50 or 60 or 70, do this with me. Your hips aren't getting more flexible as you get older. And if you value flexibility, less injuries, moving more freely, having a straighter spine, slowing down aging, doing everything you love, then you should stretch your hips regularly. Do it with me now. It's only 12 minutes. I'll show you 5 really effective stretches. Any on their own will help. All 5 together are a cumulative benefit in freeing up your hips, also your spine, and even your breathing and your blood flow to the brain, and you'll feel good. Also, I hope you can press subscribe. And I've got lots of videos for you to keep all your joints young, and don't always do your favourite video over and over because then your bones miss out. And also my online course, Strong Body, Young Brain, that's cardiovascular exercise for over 50s for dementia prevention. So do the video with me, feel good. 1, this is called windscreen wiper, which will oil up your hips for internal and external rotation, and it's a really good idea to do this before you hold a stretch. So you lie on your back, have your feet a good hip width and even a bit wider than hip width, and then just have a look at me if you don't know it. Just see how I'm moving my knees one way, just slowly. If you get a sore back, just go slowly. Don't force it. I want you to feel into your hip socket. Think about your long thigh bone, the head of the femur in that hip socket, turning internally on the top leg, externally on the bottom leg. And it actually stimulates a bit of the synovial fluid or the oil, the lubrication in the joint, which promotes joint health, freer joints, younger joints, and it can move it about. The synovial fluid can get a little bit stagnant in the joint, so this can move it, promote more fluid as well as moving it about in the joint. Can you also feel it's good for your lower back as well? So it is good for preventing stiffness in the lower back. But as I said, if you get a sore back or hip, just go slowly and maybe start with a smaller range of movement, because there is a twist in the spine and there's a slight extension, which is generally good for you. But some of you do need to be careful of your lower backs. So start off slow, smaller range of movement. But when your body's used to it and you know that it's good for you, you can start to do, you can push into it a bit more and get a little bit more range of movement. So that's a good one to do every day, windscreen wipers. It's particularly good for the over 40s, and the older you get, the more your joints need to be worked on. So hugging your knees in. The next one involves the wall. So you can do it in the middle of the room, but it's really good at the wall. Let's do the right leg up first, on top. So you've got your left foot on the wall, and if you go closer to the wall, it's a bit stronger. So if you're further away, it's easier. So get it right for you. And then I'm just rocking a little bit here, and I want you to try to feel the deep joint sort of rotating externally, and then a bit of a stretch in the outer hip. They're called the abductors. So this is good to keep those hips moving in the direction of more flexible for sitting, like with your cross legs, your natural younger hip flexibility that we start to lose as we get older. So we can work on our joints at any age, our flexibility at any age, our fitness, our strength, our flexibility. Working on these things will help us. Okay, let's do our other leg now. So pop that left leg. One might be a bit stiffer. Find the right distance and a little bit of rocking here. Trying to feel that stretch in your outer hip and be careful of your knee. And I hope you're not just watching it, I hope you're doing this. Don't just watch. I mean, the first time maybe watch, but the second time definitely do it with me, because you'll feel good. A bit freed up in your lower back and your hips. Just be careful, you shouldn't feel it in the knee. Okay, so that's the second one. That's the wall stretch. Abductor wall stretch, or glute stretch, you could call it. Now, roll over. The next one is a similar stretch. So you're sitting on your bottom and you'll just put your right foot on top first. Just pop that. And if you're on your elbows, it's easier. Or if you're on your back, it's easier. If you're propped up, it's harder. So you're in control of what's right for your body. And you can just rock a little bit here, and you're trying to get into your own edge so you can feel the stretch. And if you're very flexible, some people this is okay, but be careful of your lower back, that one there. There's also a ridiculous yoga pose that I have not bothered to learn the name of, that they put their foot behind the head, which is just, that's not going to help you. That level of flexibility, you don't need that for joint health. So I'm not really into that kind of yoga. It's yoga for health. And then straighten that leg out, squeeze around that knee, and it's that left leg on top. Just be careful. Remember, some of you'll be lying on your back, and that will be enough. Maybe propped up on your elbows, maybe on your hands, and some people maybe doing this cradle. So this is sitting abductor stretch. So we did windscreen wiper, then the wall stretch with the abductor wall stretch. This is abductor sitting, or you could be lying for this one. Okay, so the next one's in yoga is usually called pigeon pose. There's a few different names, but be careful with this one if you have osteoporosis, low bone density, because there's weight going down. You don't want to overstretch if you've got weakness in that bone. So you might be better off repeating the one at the wall. So you're just trying to hold and get that similar feeling of that deep hip joint flexibility and the outer hip. And trying to breathe and relax. Try to breathe in and out through the nose. Belly breathing, or you can call it meditative breathing. In through the nose, into your belly, then your chest, and then out. Usually out through the nose. You're trying to get a bit more stretch. And then swap to the other leg. So you could be at the wall still. Careful of the knee. And just holding at your own edge. Relax shoulders and neck and face. Take a few deeper breaths, slower than normal, in and out through the nose. You can hold or you can rock a little bit. One more breath. Okay, great. Just straighten out your legs, squeeze around the knees, stabilising. And we've got one more. And if it doesn't feel right, you can repeat any of the others. Repeating stretches, the muscle fibres reset. You do gain flexibility. Just repeating the same stretch over and over. This last one, cross-legged forward bend. It's a great one. So I've got my right foot in front first, and then some of you that might be enough. Fingertips on the floor. Don't round out too much. Some people go a bit further. It doesn't really matter. If you're a bit stiff, you feel like you're like this, and you've got to be careful of your lower back. So if you feel like you're like that, then I think it's better for your back to keep sticking with the wall one. Otherwise, some of you, if you can get your back straight and not round out too much, this is fine. So keep that lift out of the lower spine. Try to consciously relax. One more breath in and out. Be careful when your lower back stretch, it's not as strong. So switch on your core or your belly to come out, or you just walk slowly. And then straight legs, left foot on top if you're at the wall, or left foot in front. If you're sitting, lift out of your lower spine and then to your own edge, not rounding out too much. Keep your lift through the chest and feeling your hips. The good thing about stretching is short term, it's a great form of stress release. It relaxes you, it slows you down, it connects you to your body. It also improves blood flow to the joint. It can promote that lubrication and healthier joints. Nothing like a good stretch, it just feels good if you don't overstretch. But long term, you'll have more flexible joints, so you have less injuries and you'll be able to do more in your life with moving freely in everyday life. Final exhalation. And if you've got lots of time, you could do all of this again, just do it all again, or just do one of those stretches again and hold for as long as you feel, maybe 1 minute or 2 minute hold. And hopefully when you go for a walk today, you feel really good, like you can feel that lubrication, and also your mind feels calmer. Thank you so much. It's always worth it. Don't forget to subscribe, and also my online course for over 50s for dementia prevention. It's not yoga, it's actually cardiovascular and memory and balance exercises. Bye.